guys, today's kind of an unscripted, unplanned video, but that's how they come sometimes. And I actually had something happen on Tuesday, and then I thought, well, after I feel a little better, I'll make a video, kind of just discussing that, because things like this can happen, especially in a SHTF situation. I just thought we should discuss that, the reality of things that happen. But Tuesday afternoon, I was actually in the yard doing my I always have stuff. I always have things with the animals, or everything that goes on. I was moving some heavy things to get ready for these baby turkeys I have, because after next week they're going outside full time. And I was not lifting smartly, and here I used to be an orthopedic nurse, right? Carrying heavy load in front of me and away from my body. Well, that was a disaster waiting to happen. And it did. I felt it almost instantly. And I knew, being my history in orthopedics, I knew what I had probably done. It was horrific, but it made me mad. I am a terrible patient, guys. I am. Most nurses are. I don't like anything that slows me down or keeps me up. I have things to do, and that's just what it is. And I'm stubborn in that way. It's not a good thing, but I'm just being honest. And I knew I'd probably, because I had felt it and heard it, and my history, I knew I had done something. But I continued finishing. I had to get done. Like I said, it just mainly made me mad. I continued doing what I had to do, and I was in pain the rest of that evening, all night. I did initially do some ice, because I did have some initial nerve pain that had went down my arm. You always do ice for the first 24 hours on most injuries, and especially if it's nerve pain. You want that to calm down. You want to kind of suppress those nerves and calm that down. So I did that, and I was just, I couldn't get a deep breath. I couldn't cough. I couldn't twist. I couldn't bend. I was just in a lot of pain. And then I ended up falling asleep, but the rest of that night I was up and down. I was hurting. I was uncomfortable. And then all the next day on Wednesday, same thing. Wednesday night, same thing. I was up most of the night, up and down. And Wednesday afternoon, I got up with my chiropractor, and I was like, who I see one regular. And I just said, I've done something to my back, and it was mainly it was on my side. It wasn't my, spine. And so I went in Thursday about mid-morning, and I had dislocated 3 ribs, and I had shifted my scapula. And I had some, muscle strain, pulled, really severe pulled muscles. So it took a good while, and I tell you what, I felt like I was being hit by a train getting those put back in. That was just, and I've done this, I have dislocated ribs before, and that's just a nightmare. And I was sore all the rest of yesterday. And if anyone has ever dislocated ribs or broken ribs, you about can't blink without it. It's like, almost feels like a vice goes against you, and you can't even get a breath. But then, I had got up with some close friends of mine, some of my prayer warriors, and I was just like, I hate to do it, because I hate to say, admit or go through and be like, I'm hurt or I'm sick or something. And I was just like, I'm just bad off, and I just need some prayer, because I don't have time for this. That's just how my thought process always goes for things like this. And then, I was texting a good friend of mine last night, and I ended up drifting off. I fell asleep, and I slept through the night last night. Thank God. That was the first time since I had gotten injured, and I feel pretty good. Way better. I would say 75% better. A little tender, sore, but nothing like I was. And I'm still taking it easy. That's the hardest thing for me, because I want to go. And I feel like I get behind. But I do. And that same thing for anyone else. You got to rest as you can and let your body heal. And so you don't prolong it or make things worse. But that just, of course, when I've been kind of down with this, that's just reality of things happening, and things are semi-normal, right, in our world today. Like, I could run to the chiropractor if I, or something, happens like that. But in a bad situation, if you can't, it is important to know, because we always think about illness. We think about, having our medications, or over-the-counter medications, immediate first aid. There's a bleed, a cut, something. We think about those things, and then you do something to your back, and if your back goes, it like affects your whole body. And you don't want to be in that situation where you can't do for yourself, defend yourself, provide, do what you need to do for survival. And so it's just all these things. And I have different things. I'll listen to descriptions, of course, because there's like Comfrey root salve. You can make that. That's really good. I've talked to you several times about the Arnica of Montana. I prefer the topical use of that, and you can get the little no-sodes and take those. Stinging nettles, lavender. You can make salves out of all that topical things for like muscle. If you've pulled a muscle, if you have sprains or anything like that, bone, joint, arthritis, a lot of these all work for that. Yarrow is great for all those type of things. And then make sure you have your things like, you have your Epsom salt. Epsom salt works wonders for something so simple. If you take an Epsom salt bath for, muscle pains, and if you have, you've done something to a joint or something, it works really good. And your your ace wraps, a lot of times if you have something with your ribs or something like that, you want to kind of be more protective over those. You have make sure you have your ace wraps and things like that. Braces. I was in a brace, the ones that usually a lot of times they use the same braces they use if somebody breaks their their collarbones or clavicles. They kind of hold your shoulders back to keep things in place, because once you dislocate anything, it's more prone to want to come back out. And so for at least the first 24 hours after I'd gotten reset, I had that on, because I didn't want things to slip back out, because it was out and I had the muscle stuff. It's going to want to pull it back out. So, you have things like that, and you have like the kinetic tape. But you need to know how to use kinetic tape properly before you start doing it. You can watch videos and read about how you do that properly, but something good to have on hand. And, staying hydrated. That's a big thing. We pull more muscles and get more injuries if we're dehydrated. And I have, this is a good book. I think several people talk. I had this for several years, but it's a fantastic book. This is a good one to have on hand. I have little things, these go things. I have, these little flip things that have all types of information. Those are good things to have. And then like, even for your heat, like you do heat when you get injuries and stuff like that. I have tons of these. I have them for, and they're the hot water bottles. I get them in packs. I have some problems, but I have those for, like, even if you didn't have electricity, you can build a fire, boil some water, and you can have a heating pad, a heating source. I also keep these because if you ever don't have, electricity or something, you can build a fire and boil water, and that's a heat source to have on your body. That's something I have many of these for those purposes. And, the icy hot, whatever works for you, make sure you have those things on hand so you can address things like this, because, things like this are going to happen. We have to do these type of manual laboring type things, and things like that happen. Even as careful as you are, things like that can happen. And I appreciate, texts, emails, and everything, prayers for that, because I tell you what, the power of prayer, because I was hurting, and my good chiropractor, bless her, and I just, that's something I thought I'll just take this opportunity and address it, because it happened to me, and it just is one of those things that we're going to run across. And make sure you have things on hand to take care of it. Take care of your bodies. Work smart. I wasn't doing things smart. I knew better, but I was just rushing through. I was doing what I had to do, and that happens sometimes, right? So I just want to share that with you guys. Everyone stay well. God bless, and I will see you next time.